Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of upcoming episode of Swallowed Star based on novel. So let's start. Bei-shan Knight had been living on Bohinia Island for a long time, and he went to the land of treasures often. And the weak emperors were already accustomed to him being dominant. This was a usual situation for the island, as the knights and emperors were in no way equals. Knights with good tempers would fly to a place slowly, and the emperors there would go away. However, if they ran into aggressive ones like this Bei-shan Knight, they could only put up with them. It was quite common already. Bei-shan Knight looked at the human in front of him and sneered, "Bullying you? I innately dislike humans, and that's why I bully you. What can you do about it? You dare disrespect me as a mere emperor?" "Yes, I just did it, and I'll continue to do so. What do you want to do about it?" Luo Feng looked up at the barbarian knight, holding the flame god crystal. It was silent all around. Thousand Rain with blood on his lips, as well as other powerful ones of the barbarian races, all turned to watch. "I haven't seen this one," said one of them. "He's new. Look, another stupid one." Not surprising at all. They think they're under the protection of the law of the ancestral god school, and that the knights can't hurt them. Besides, lots of the newcomers are the special ones of different races, and they can't put up with it. The Bei-shan Knight is hostile against humans and is reckless. It's normal that the newcomers defy him. But he'll know how to behave himself after this. Let's see what sort of fight the new one will put up. The human's smart to hold the flame god crystal in his hands. That way, he can intimidate Bei-shan. If the crystal kills the human, Bei-shan will die along with him. The powerful ones around them were all watching from afar. Most of them were emperors, and a few of them were universe knights. Asterisk, 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 asterisk. At the peak of the mountain, Luo Feng wiped his lips and looked at the universe knight of the barbarian race. "Impressive," Bei-shan Knight said and looked at Luo Feng from the top. He was irritated but, at the same time, interested. He hadn't come across a human emperor, who dared to confront him directly in a long time. "Human, do you know that I'm a universe knight?" "I do," Luo Feng said, staring at him. "But so what? Don't you think you should revere me?" Bei-shan Knight said. "Why should the weak respect the strong?" Luo Feng answered. "Because the weak are afraid that the strong will kill them, and they admire the power of the strong. Apparently, I don't admire you whatsoever. I don't need to be afraid of you within the five-color Aurora Lake. So, you tell me, why should I venerate you?" Bei-shan Knight burst into laughter, which echoed among the mountains. More powerful ones turned to watch. "Indeed, you don't need to be afraid of me here." Bei-shan Knight curled his lips and added, "But, human, you should also know that you're not going to stay here forever. I have seen you, and now I know your scent. You know what could happen if I find you outside. Don't you think what you're doing is stupid?" Luo Feng gazed at Bei-shan Knight. "Forget about it," Thousand Rain said, communicating with Luo Feng telepathically. "Don't mess with a universe knight. The universe knights have been used to being revered all the time, and we're not equal to them." Bei-shan Knight indeed stepped out of line this time, but all we can do is bear with it. It's not good for us to have feuds with universe knights. "Thank you, Thousand Rain," replied Luo Feng. Luo Feng wasn't terrified at all as he looked at Bei-shan Knight. The mighty master of Sky Wolf had already spread the news of Blade River Emperor, and there were countless creatures in the universe who were trying to assassinate him. The rewards from the peak races were already tempting for a great number of universe knights, possibly some masters of the universe. That was why Luo Feng had chosen to hide here. "Several top races are trying to kill me," said Luo Feng. "Why do I need to tolerate you? Besides, you're only an ordinary knight, and when I become an undying, my golden horned beast body is thousands of times stronger than humans, and it can wear force armor." Luo Feng didn't want to suffer from this. Since the news of Blade River Emperor was known to the entire universe, and since Juju Emperor had already recognized him, his identity wouldn't be a secret in the land of inheritance for long. So, why should he put up with this? Compared to the glaring from the peak races, this Beishan night was nothing. Luo Feng nodded. You're right. I'll make an enemy of a universe knight if I wrong you, and it might be stupid. However, I've already wronged you. Tell me what I should do. Beishan Knight was dazed, as he'd never come across anyone like this before. Interesting. Beishan, you've finally encountered a handful, came a rumbling voice from a knight of a barbarian race from a mountain afar. The human newcomer doesn't even give a damn about you, said another. A third voice added, kill him and build your reputation. 3 universe knights were laughing, and their voices were echoing in the sky. As for the emperors watching, they whispered to each other. Thousand Rain was holding his head, hiding far away. Oh my god, the humans gone mad. Occasionally, there would be some stubborn newcomers. However, they would usually admit defeat right away. This time, on the contrary, the newcomer was overly reckless. None of the emperors were able to identify Luo Feng, but they all thought the human was foolhardy. Beishan Knight heard the laughter from the other knights, and his face darkened. They, as universe knights, would care more about how they looked. There were many universe knights within the ancestral god schools, and they were divided up according to different alliances. For example, the human universe knights were one group, and the universe knights of the 9-city alliance would form another group. Presently, the universe knights from another group were laughing at him. Beishan Knight gave Luo Feng a cold look and surrounded Luo Feng with an aggressive force. Luo Feng treated the force like a breeze. Brave enough, Beishan Knight said. I've always hated humans, and I hate you even more after what has happened here. Now, you'll kneel down and destroy half of your godly body, and I'll pretend none of this ever happened. Luo Feng glanced at Beishan Knight. You want me to destroy half of my godly body, and kneel down to apologize? You're so merciful. What if I disobey you? Will you kill me outside if you have the chance? I'm so afraid. Luo Feng looked at him wryly. I'm so afraid. I'll remember this if I'm afraid, and I'll have my revenge. You're of the Fang Chui clan, right? Beishan Knight became more and more hostile, and Thousand Rain was already scared to half-death. Just apologize, urged Thousand Rain. Just. Beishan Knight said in a low voice, Human, I admire your bravery. Remember, I'm Beishan Knight. Hide in 5-color Aurora Lake as long as you can. Luo Feng sneered. He had a reason to be so contemptuous. If Beishan Knight knew that he was Blade River Emperor, he wouldn't dare lay a finger of him. The Fang Chui clan could handle the anger from the human race, who highly valued super talents. If he did it, the whole clan would suffer because of him, and thus, only the powers that were Hong alliances equal would dare to hurt Luo Feng. At the peak of the mountain, neither Beishan Knight nor Luo Feng lowered their heads. It was impossible for them to do so. Beishan Knight hummed and prepared to fly away. Beishan, came a voice. A snow-white figure appeared beside the mountain, and the figure was 10 feet tall. His entire body was coagulated like an ice cube, and there were lots of other ice shatters inside. He looked like a human and was wearing ice armor. He seemed to be more forceful than Beishan Knight. Zhuchong Emperor. Beishan Knight's face darkened. Beishan, the ice-armored man said with a smirk. I know that you don't get along with humans, but he just arrived. Do you really need to be so cruel to him? I'm just here to tell you to go easy on the emperors. Luo Feng was blown away. He couldn't help staring at the ice-armored man. An emperor. The ice-armored man in front of him was an emperor. Thousand Rain, who is he? Luo Feng asked Thousand Rain. Thousand Rain wasn't prepared for Luo Feng's question. But then he answered, that's Zhuchong Emperor, one of the 3 emperors on Bohinia Island. Rumor has it that is a unique creature in the universe, and his original body is more than 40,000 miles tall. His constitution is 5,000 times more powerful than ours, as only an emperor, and is more powerful than lots of ordinary universe knights. Besides, his techniques are extraordinary. He got 2 invaluable treasures from the ancestral god school, who specially trains him. Ordinary universe knights are not his match. Luo Feng blinked and looked at Zhuchong Emperor in front of him. A unique life form, thought Luo Feng. More than 40,000 miles tall. 5,000 times. Unique. Luo Feng found it hard to believe that a unique life form would just appear in front of him. He had known only 2 unique lives before, one of them being the fallen beast god, who was born to be a universe master. And the other was Teacher Mountain Sitting Guest, who was one of the mightiest in the entire universe. Luo Feng perceived a unique life to be incredibly powerful. A unique life form at an undying level. One of the top 3 heirs on the island. Luo Feng rejoiced in his heart. That sounds about right, as all the talents of the universe are on Bohinia Island. My teacher True Yang Emperor can barely get in. Top 3. How strong can those be? Luo Feng wasn't arrogant anymore. He wasn't qualified to be arrogant when compared to the Zhuchong Emperor. A unique life form, thought Luo Feng. That's right. Special life forms. The guarding beast god told me that the secret region of the ancestral god school has the most special creatures out of the entire universe. Perhaps I can find a chance to confirm my third body, which is crucial to my future. I don't need to find the strongest one, but I need to find the one that suits me best. Thousand Rain couldn't help but praise the emperor while Luo Feng was thinking about his third body. We're emperors just like Zhuchong Emperor, but look at the gap between us and him. Our constitutions are already 5,000 times weaker than his, and that's a larger gap than between the universe knights and us. Rumor has it that Blade River Emperor can kill an emperor undying as only a sector lord, and this Zhuchong Emperor can kill an ordinary universe knight as only an emperor. No wonder the ancestral god school treats him as a special life form. Stay out of this, Zhuchong Emperor, Beishan Knight said in a low voice. Oh? Zhuchong Emperor enlarged his body to the size of Beishan Knight. He gazed at Beishan and said, First of all, I'm an undying emperor, and this newcomer is a human. You know that humans are my brothers. Tell me why I should stay out of this. But just when Beishan Knight tried to say something, Zhuchong Emperor continued, Knights are indeed at a higher status than emperors, and that's why emperors will avoid the knights if they see the knights from afar. However, you're so belligerent, Beishan. Can you really blame him for fighting back? You're within 5-color Aurora Lake, and killings are forbidden here. You were trying to force the human to burn his godly body. Beishan Emperor flew away like a beam of light. Zhuchong Emperor turned back to a 10-foot figure after seeing this. Human, Zhuchong Emperor said and looked at Luo Feng. Thank you, Zhuchong Emperor, Luo Feng said and smiled. I didn't help you much, Zhuchong Emperor said. I could have stopped it if I found out sooner, but now, Beishan Knight might hold a grudge against you. Be careful. Okay. Luo Feng nodded. Zhuchong Emperor was a little surprised. He didn't care about being hated. He had no idea how many enemies Luo Feng had. You can come find me in the world of glory, Zhuchong Emperor told Luo Feng, after which he flew away. Thousand Rain didn't fly to Luo Feng until Zhuchong Emperor left. Thousand Rain landed on the mountain and sighed. Please don't blame me, as I really don't want to mess with that universe knight, he said. He was way out of line this time. I was going to avoid him when he hit me away. It's like he's trying to show off. I'm not blaming you. Luo Feng smiled. In the distance, creatures were gossiping the confrontation between Zhuchong Emperor and Beishan Knight attracted tens of thousands of powerful ones, which was remarkable considering the size of the land of treasures. Luo Feng heard what was being said and smiled. Nobody thinks much of me, he said. Can you blame them for thinking that you're foolhardy, said Thousand Rain. How many emperors have the guts to confront universe knights? For the ordinary races, even the top ones like space beasts, only have 10 times more powerful genes than ordinary ones. And even though we are the peerless talents of our own clans, we are still emperors, we won't dare to fight with universe knights. Only the most exceptional of the special creatures have the ability and bravery to do that. There are only several Emperor-level special creatures among the heirs. We need to be careful, Thousand Rain said. We'll be in trouble if a universe knight holds resentment against us. Okay. Luo Feng was listening to a discussion afar. I'll go check out other places. Ha ha. I know you can't stand all the gossiping, Thousand Rain said. I'm coming with you. Luo Feng and Thousand Rain flew away like two flashes of light. Tens of thousands of powerful ones were talking about what happened in small groups. How mighty Zhu Chong Emperor is. Bei Shan Knight didn't dare say another word. Bei Shan Knight was only at 4th level inheritance, and his constitution is nothing compared to that of Zhu Chong Emperor, whose godly body was 5,000 times stronger than ordinary emperors. Besides, Zhu Chong Emperor has two invaluable treasures. What do you think Bei Shan Knight could do about it? He's wise not to mess with Zhu Chong Emperor, who has killed Universe Knights and defeated 3 Universe Knights before. How incredible. Well, he's 5,000 times more forceful than ordinary emperors. There's no comparison. Bei Shan Knight was humiliated this time. How unfortunate for him to run into a stupid newcomer and be suppressed by Zhu Chong Emperor at the same time. Some of the Universe Knights were gloating. Unlucky Bei Shan. Although Bei Shan is aggressive, it's no big deal. Who expects the human to refuse to back down? The human newcomer is a bit stupid. See. He now has made an enemy of a Universe Knight. You should just back down when you're weak. Asterisk 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 asterisk. After Luo Feng and Thousand Rain flew hundreds of thousands of miles, they were stopped by 3 emperors. Luo Feng looked at the 3 emperors in front of him. One that looked like a beetle stared at Luo Feng with its compound eyes. Human, are you Blade River Emperor? It said in a hoarse voice. Luo Feng was dazed. Blade River Emperor. Thousand River said, turning to gape at Luo Feng in surprise. Stop covering it up, human, said the Beetle Emperor, confident and excited. Based on my information, there's not a single emperor of the human race that matches you, except the mysterious Blade River Emperor. Blade River Emperor, I've heard a lot about you. How thrilling it is to finally see you. Bei Shan Knight is stupid enough to mess with you. The automaton race and demon race have already released the reward for hunting you down, and there are a plethora of powerful ones trying to kill you. However, they are all really careful, as they all know the resources the human race have put in place to protect you. Luo Feng frowned. Luo Feng flew away, followed by Thousand Rain. Blade River Emperor. Blade River Emperor, the beetle screamed, and its voice spread everywhere. Blade River Emperor, others replied. What Blade River Emperor? It is, of course, the most unimaginable talent of the human race. Blade River Emperor. Where is he? It's the human, said the beetle. The one who confronted Bei Shan Knight on the mountain. I was pondering his identity just now. There's detailed information of the 9-domain alliance, and the humans who came here with the tokens are the most incredible talents. It should have been fairly easy to find his information, but I can't. Now I understand why. It's Blade River Emperor. They said Blade River Emperor used the method of Beast God to fight Haiti Emperor. It must be him. The human newcomer is Blade River Emperor. The powerful ones, who were just randomly gossiping, suddenly got serious. Juju Emperor talked to his friends, who couldn't help marveling. His Blade River Emperor, unless another super talent comes out, and it's almost impossible that there are 2 super talents. The probability of him being Blade River Emperor is over 99.1%. It actually is the Blade River Emperor. And he came here as only a sector lord. Impressive. He didn't even bow down in front of a Universe Knight. How arrogant is that? Do you think it's possible for such a peerless talent not to be arrogant? He was able to kill an emperor as a sector lord, and his only human. We all know humans aren't special creatures. The supreme beings of the human race must treat him as one of a kind. The demon race, the automaton race, and the worm race all want to kill him. No wonder he didn't give a damn about Beishan Knight. Who is he compared to the demon race, the automaton race, and the worm race? Unbelievable. His Blade River Emperor. The news that Blade River Emperor had come to the land of treasures and confronted Beishan Knight spread like wildfire. All the powerful ones of the barbarian race knew about Blade River Emperor, and there were even a few of them who didn't care about the outside, but heard the news from their friends. They were all amazed. He can kill an emperor as a sector lord. Then can he kill a universe knight when he becomes an emperor? And he's not a special life form, but rather a human. He was no special creature, but he was as powerful as one. This was how Blade River Emperor garnered such fame, and why the worm race, the demon race, and the automaton race wanted to kill Luo Feng. Luo Feng and Thousand Rain flew away like two beams of light. The land of treasures was boundless, and lakes could be over 1,000,000 square miles. How long are we going to fly like this? Thousand Rain said. Let's teleport ourselves. Okay. Luo Feng answered. His Mosho clan body turned into a metal sheet, and they teleported themselves almost at the same time, with Luo Feng following Thousand Rain. Although it was difficult to sense the accurate coordinates during distant teleportation, Luo Feng and Thousand Rain didn't teleport themselves that far. They appeared inside a remote mountain. Thousand Rain looked down and pointed at a col between peaks and said, "Let's go there. I bet there are lots of them trying to find you. We can at least have some quiet time there." Good. Luo Feng smiled and dove alongside Thousand Rain. There were streams in that col, and the water was running. Luo Feng and Thousand Rain landed beside the stream. Are you really Blade River Emperor, Hua? Thousand Rain couldn't help asking. Do you really want to do this? Luo Feng looked at him. No, that's not what I mean, Thousand Rain explained. I'm not investigating you. I'm just curious. Blade River Emperor is so famous because he can kill an emperor as a sector lord, which is something that can only be accomplished by unique creatures, like Zhuchong Emperor. I bet there are lots of others who are curious. Then just think of me as Blade River Emperor, Luo Feng said. He smiled and nodded. You're not him. Thousand Rain was dazed. Or perhaps you are. Are you a phony that the human race introduces to mislead those barbarian races who want Blade River Emperor dead? Impressive. Impressive, indeed. That way, they can protect the real Blade River Emperor and render all others' efforts in vain. Besides, the race will certainly reserve the time and bring you back to life, given your talents. This Thousand Rain is really imaginative, Luo Feng thought to himself. Thousand Rain said, rest assured. I won't tell anyone. You're not trying to mislead me, right? Maybe you are indeed the real Blade River Emperor. You can think whatever you want, Luo Feng said, smiling. You can call me either Hua or Blade River Emperor. I'll answer to both. You? Thousand Rain didn't know how to respond. Stop talking about this, said Luo Feng. I'm really curious about the treasures here. Luo Feng looked at the colonel. The scene was breathtaking, and the mountains were steep, where grew all kinds of plants. Rocks and streams were everywhere. Luo Feng observed it for a long time. Where are the treasures hidden? Luo Feng couldn't help asking. I haven't seen any treasures after arriving here. There are treasures everywhere, Thousand Rain said jokingly. Of course, they are invisible to you. What do you mean by that? Luo Feng kept asking. You know nothing, newcomer. Enter the world of glory and chat with our friends in the Hong Alliance more. You'll know more by doing that. Let me introduce you to some common sense. Thousand Rain pointed around. All the supreme beings of the ancestral god school can leave some treasures here, and they set conditions for those treasures. As long as one is qualified, the treasures will show themselves to that one when it walks close. Show themselves. Luo Feng was baffled. Treasures are not alive. How do they know whether we're qualified or not? You don't understand. Thousand Rain pointed to the sky and said, the ancestral god school controls the entire five-color Aurora Lake. They'll know everything you do or touch within here. Luo Feng was suddenly enlightened. That's right. I can know everything that's going on in Star Tower. Just like the 5-color Aurora Lake. The level of beast god inheritance you've reached, the strength of your godly power, the amplitude of your soul and godly body, the control system of the world of glory, should be connected to that of the entire 5-color Aurora Lake, Thousand Rain said. In a word, the control system will collect all your information. And once you're qualified for a certain treasure, it will open automatically for you. There are 2 conditions for obtaining a treasure. 1. Be qualified. 2. Go to the treasure directly. Thousand Rain smiled and added, if you want treasures, show some extraordinary talents in the world of glory, or inside your palace, if you don't want to reveal it to everyone. Although the palace belongs to you, the control system will still know your every move. Remember. Show your power. Otherwise, the control system can't collect information. Luo Feng nodded. It was exactly like him being in Star Tower, where he could see how the powerful ones in the Star Tower moved. However, that was the most he could do. He couldn't examine the souls of the barbarians and inspect the secrets inside their bodies. If you are indeed a sector lord, you can reveal your true identity temporarily in your palace, Thousand Rain said. There have been fewer than 10 sector lords arriving here since the birth of the universe, and every one of them who did was an emperor's equal. That's what makes you special. Maybe there are some treasures that are for sector lords only. Ha! Luo Feng smiled as thoughts flooded in his mind. I'll collect some information in the world of glory later, thought Luo Feng. I know so little as a newcomer. Asterisk 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 asterisk. While Luo Feng and Thousand Rain were hiding at the periphery of the land of treasures, the place was filled with hustle and bustle. The news that Blade River Emperor had appeared in the land of treasures and confronted Bei Shan Knight spread like a virus. Through the virtual world of the world of glory, tens of thousands of heirs knew about it, except some, who turned off notifications. One creature after another appeared at the portal. The powerful ones who rushed to the land of treasures all wanted to see the famous Blade River Emperor. Where is Blade River Emperor? They demanded. Where is the human, Blade River Emperor? Blade River Emperor flew away with the Thousand Rain Emperor of the Dark Mist clan, answered those who knew the truth. You can confirm that the human is Blade River Emperor, right? We can all confirm it. He is the Blade River Emperor, and there are only so many emperors within the human race. Talented emperors are rare. Do you really? There's another who can rival Blade River Emperor. Coincidentally, Blade River Emperor also follows the path of Beast God. Do you really think 2 peerless geniuses following the same path will hide their identities and rise at the same time? He must be Blade River Emperor. Makes sense. Let's go. I want to see this Blade River Emperor. I know of the rewards offered by the demon race, the automaton race, and the worm race, and all of them are incredibly generous. Especially the demon race, who offer an invaluable treasure. Although that one can barely reach the threshold of invaluable treasures, universe knights are all crazy for it. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Although the land of treasures was vast, there were too many powerful ones, and Luo Feng and Thousand Rain were spotted after a short while. Look, isn't that Thousand Rain Emperor? That's right. See the black-armored human beside him. That must be Blade River Emperor. Blade River Emperor is a sector lord. Why can't I tell? Blade River Emperor is said to have invaluable treasures, which can cover his scent. 3 creatures dove towards the Colonel. Luo Feng and Thousand Rain lifted their heads, and those 3 arrived. Busted. Luo Feng shook his head. He had originally planned to wander within the land of treasures, which seemed impossible now. Blade River Emperor. Blade River Emperor. All of the 3 figures were 5 feet tall with broad waists and muscles so strong it was as if they were carrying shields. They had 6 arms and 6 eyes that stared at Luo Feng, trying to discern the secrets behind this sector lord who could kill a limit emperor. Are you Blade River Emperor? A green-armored powerful one suddenly asked. He must be. He must be, the other 2 said. Powerful ones from Tabei clan, What do you want with Blade River Emperor? Stop denying it, said a powerful, purple-armored creature from the Tar-Bay clan. It's impossible that two peerless and hidden talents, who both follow the path of Beast God, could come from human race. Blade River Emperor, the green-armored one said, gazing at Luo Feng. I've heard of your story, but I don't buy it. The human race has ordinary genes, and no matter how deeply you understand the laws and how powerful your secret techniques are, you can't defeat an emperor without an extraordinary constitution and body. Rumor has it that you're a sector lord. I bet that's fake. The green-armored undying gazed at Luo Feng and burst into laughter. Sector lord killing an emperor. That's not something that can be accomplished by you humans. You don't think Blade River Emperor is a sector lord? Luo Feng asked. The demon race, the worm race, and the automaton race seem convinced. Convinced enough to post rewards for killing Blade River Emperor. And the demon race even offered an invaluable treasure. Who knows, the undying of the Tar-Bay clan said, gazing at Luo Feng. Maybe that's because you humans are so good at deceiving others. That sounds about right. You humans are one of the peak races, you are talented at just about everything. You don't need to explain anything. We'll be convinced if you can give out the scent of a sector lord, after which we'll apologize to you and show you our admiration. They all stared at Luo Feng, waiting for the scent of a sector lord. Thousand Rain, I'll go back first. Luo Feng turned around and told Thousand Rain beside him. I bet other powerful ones will arrive in no time, Thousand Rain said, nodding. Human. Human, two of the three creatures from the Tar-Bay clan screamed. You three, said Luo Feng. He turned to them and sneered. You're all stupid. I didn't deny, nor confirm that I am Blade River Emperor. I don't care if you believe it or not. Luo Feng teleported himself and vanished. You little. But before they could finish cursing at him, Luo Feng was long gone. Thousand Rain laughed, smirked, and disappeared. They all gnashed their teeth in anger. How dare this Thousand Rain Emperor be disrespectful? The green-armored one looked at his companions and said, this Blade River Emperor is indeed careful. He didn't give away anything, or have any intention of revealing his sector lord scent. It seems that we didn't succeed in confirming his identity. Let's go back to report to our seniors. The three powerful creatures of the Tar-Bay clan flew away. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Luo Feng teleported to the portal of the Land of Treasure, where some barbarians talking to each other immediately noticed him. It's the human. Look, it's Blade River Emperor. He's the Blade River Emperor. The barbarians flew to him instantly, one yelling, wait. Blade River Emperor, while another shouted, human. However, Luo Feng pretended that he didn't hear anything and stepped into the portal. The barbarians could only sigh and shake their heads. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Luo Feng teleported back to his palace instantly, after getting back to Bohinia Island. I didn't expect to rouse suspicions quite so soon, thought Luo Feng, as he went to the second floor of a pavilion. There were futons on the ground with empty space surrounding them. Here, he could see the pools and gardens directly. He sat down with his legs crossed and looked down. On second thought, it's not that startling, he murmured. It's almost impossible for two hidden peerless talents to rise from the same race, not to mention both following the path of Beast God. Even I wouldn't buy it, let alone the barbarians. Luo Feng waved his hand, and the mini-quantum computer appeared on his hands. It was the receiver to connect to the world of glory. I'll enter this world of glory, and see how it's different from the virtual universe of my race, Luo Feng thought. He sensed the receiver through his mind and connected to the world of glory shortly. Asterisk 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 asterisk. In the world of glory, a figure appeared at the periphery of a square holding a black book. Luo Feng smiled, holding the book. Interesting. The virtual universe uses virtual assistants to function, while this one uses this book. Luo Feng opened the book. There was only one word on the first page, written in the human language, name. The following pages were blank. Please enter a username for the world of glory, Luo Feng heard a voice say when he turned to the first page. Name. Luo Feng considered for a moment, then answered, Blade River. Since many powerful creatures already thought he was the Blade River Emperor, he would give himself this username. He didn't care much about the authenticity. Luo Feng turned to the second page. It was the map of the world of glory, and Luo Feng heard the voice say, there are 2 districts in the world of glory. One is the open-air square, and the other is the world of battle. You can connect to the world of glory, within the secret region of the ancestral god school. Wow, it's pretty small, Luo Feng whispered. And there are very few functions, he complained inwardly. There was no comparison. If the virtual universe was a skyscraper, the world of glory was a cottage. It only covered the ancestral god secret region, and there were only 2 districts, the open-air square and the world of battle. There weren't even accommodations or shopping malls. The human virtual universe was much more bustling. There were countless levels of space and a wide range of functions. Everything that you could to do was provided in the virtual universe. Luo Feng skimmed through the options. Leaderboard of the world of glory. Glory points. Points for inheritances. Now, Luo Feng understood. The only way to have extra inheritances was to come to the world of glory. There were 7 rankings on the leaderboard, starting with first level ranking and descending to second level ranking, and so on and so forth. Different heirs appeared on different rankings according to their wins and losses. As for Luo Feng, he was at the back of third level ranking. 0 wins and 0 losses. Of course, there were creatures with records far worse than his. It's simple, indeed, Luo Feng thought. The ancestral god school only wants to offer a place for us to gather by setting up such a simple virtual universe. Open-air square. Luo Feng looked away. The square was actually an open-air bar where lots of wine was being served and meals were taking place. They could be enjoyed by all heirs at any time. There were chairs assembled within the square, and Luo Feng could see tens of thousands of heirs with a glance. And with a glance, they spotted him as well. Look, it's Blade River Emperor. It's Blade River Emperor. The heirs all noticed Luo Feng, but they chose to stand by. He realized that the heirs were in hundreds of or even thousands of separate groups. He could sense the hostility among the groups. There are always conflicts whenever there are powerful ones, thought Luo Feng. Especially in a place like this, where all the talents in the universe live. Blade River Emperor. A creature flew toward Luo Feng like a bolt of lightning. Luo Feng looked at him and realized it was human. He smiled. CHA Man Emperor. CHA Man Emperor was a low-key emperor of the human race. Although he wasn't as mighty as the emperors who could rival universe knights, he was very close. CHA Man Emperor was incredibly talented, and had risen to a high level very quickly. For this, he was highly valued and specially trained by the human race. Unfortunately, he was stuck at the final step to becoming a universe knight, which had robbed him of his pride and made him meek. Many talented ones suffered similar fates. There were, after all, only so many who were qualified to become universe knights, such as Seven-Blade Emperor. Who could say for sure whether he would become a universe knight? Let's go, the Hong Alliance is here. CHA Man Emperor took Luo Feng and walked away. According to the command I received from our race, I should call you Blade River Emperor directly when you're suspected. Will it affect you? They will be just as suspicious if you don't call me that. It'll happen either way. Don't worry about it. Luo Feng smiled. CHA Man Emperor nodded and continued. These heirs are divided mainly by the alliances they belong to. The enemy alliances don't get together. We who belong to the Hong Alliance will stick together. There seem to be many groups, Luo Feng said. He could see the divisions between them. Most were in groups of hundreds or thousands of members. There were few groups with more than 10,000 members, and they represented the superpowers of the universe. Luo Feng pointed to one particularly large group where hundreds of thousands of powerful ones sat together. Who are they? There are so many members. That's the Snow Territory Alliance, CHA Man Emperor said. Although they are inferior to our Hong Alliance in terms of power, it is the alliance that has the most members. There are lots of Undying and even Emperor-level Undying within that alliance, though most are from weak, ordinary clans, with a few exceptions. You should know that the Ancestral God School doesn't care about the number of members a clan has when it distributes tokens. After a short while, they arrived at a corner of the square. That's our place, CHA Man Emperor said with a smile. Luo Feng looked to the front and saw only around 1,000 powerful ones. They were all very common clans of the Hong Alliance. This is it. Luo Feng whispered. We're the elites, CHA Man Emperor said, still smiling. That's right, we're the elites, agreed Luo Feng. No point comparing the quantity, I suppose. Luo Feng smiled back and followed CHA Man Emperor to the heirs of the Hong Alliance. Asterisk 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 asterisk. Within the territory of the demon race, walls of flames as big as stars were distributed everywhere and enveloped the valley. At the center was the towering Sky Wolf Palace. An enormous, snake-shaped creature with two heads groveled on the palace floor, but its voice was echoing within the entire space. Master of Sky Wolf, the heirs of our demon race within the Ancestral God School gave us a message. A human suspected to be Blade River Emperor went to the Land of Treasures. It's highly likely that is Blade River Emperor. The Master of Sky Wolf was in charge of the reward for hunting down Blade River Emperor. This video will end here.